Good morning and welcome to the Stahls TV Morning Show. I'm Zach.
And I'm Josh. And we're excited to be not only live through our GoToWebinar client today, but also on Facebook Live for the entire show.
Yeah, so feel free, just like you do on GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar, feel free to chat in questions to Facebook, and we will do our best to address those as the episode goes on.
Yeah, so for those of you not familiar with the morning show, because you're just joining us on Facebook, we have this every single week at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It's about a 25-minute show with the goal to give you the buzz, news, and know-how at the frequency you need it.
I love that tagline.
I do too. We don't use that as much as we used to.
No, we don't.
A couple of things that are standard on the morning show, or becoming standard, is a new segment called Look of the Week. And now these are basically viewer-submitted looks, and we take a look at these leading up to the morning show and sort of select the look of the week on Monday morning with the goal of showcasing a viewer's look so we can learn something from it. So if we want to share the winning look of this week, it's from C.W. Ward. It was submitted on our Stahls All Things Heat Printing Facebook page on Saturday, and you can see a pretty cool design here.
Yeah, why don't you explain to us what's going on, Josh? See, the problem is we chose the look of the week based on something that we thought looked cool and that would sell, and being, I guess, men in our mid-30s, we weren't really aware that it was a Harry Potter themed thing and didn't understand what everything meant. But it's a really cool look that represents the houses, the 4 different houses in the Harry Potter series, and we have faux pocket, faux glasses, faux ties going on. We think it's something that's sellable even if it wasn't Harry Potter themed.
Yeah, I think the cool thing that jumped out to me is, number one, it's a unique take on the apparel decoration where you see it's almost like it's on the wearer. So I've seen looks like this where people wearing headphones that are designed into the shirt, or even for football where they have like shoulder pads on the shoulders, so different concepts. But
and then the classic fake tuxedo.
Yeah.
Tuxedo t-shirt.
Yeah, I like the ties here though, and I sort of was compelled by the colorways and changing that out, and sort of this could be a concept for event printing where you change out the color based on the team. It could be for an internet or a website where you can customize the initials on the tie and sort of make it personalized. But this really jumped out, and it was produced utilizing a print cut device. That's how you get the full color and the color gradients there. Of course, applied with the heat press. A tip would be make the tie 20 inches or less so you don't have to break it up into multiple applications. But
good tip.
A way to upgrade a standard, Gildan t-shirt and produce value. So congratulations to C.W. Ward for winning our Look of the Week this week. If you want to submit to Look of the Week, there's 3 ways you can do that. Number 1 is you can email those to tv@stahls.com. Number 2 is that you can upload those, share them on our Stahls Show and Sell on our Facebook page on Saturdays. And last but not least is you can tag us on Instagram and be entered to win Look of the Week. And by winning, you get a box of Stahls TV swag, a surprise box.
Cool.
Lots of fun.
So you're saying the power of colorways compels you.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah. I might put that quote on in my bedroom.
Yeah.
I don't know if my
that's
wife
actually
will
good.
like it.
One other thing that really compels us here at Stahls TV is to help our viewers make more money, be more productive in the heat printing industry. And that kind of leads us into our next segment. We're going to share with you a trailer that has probably never before been seen by you because it's just been a private thing. It was also released on Ted Stahl's blog at tedstahl.com. But let's show you this trailer, and then we're going to talk a little bit about it, a new series coming to Stahls TV.
I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say. I don't either. Let's just dry run it. Okay. Maybe it'll turn out good.
Maybe not. No hands.
Videotaping? No, he should go to the gas station.
That's what he said.
I was wanting to go to the gas station. I don't know what you're doing.
Ever had a day like that one? You don't know what to say? You feel like the business is driving itself, and you just can't get it right. You're not alone, and the Stahls TV Blueprint team is here to help. Come along with us as we get to know apparel decorating companies across the country and give them the tips and tools they need to succeed. Our first stop is Moose's Enterprises, a growing apparel decorating business that's ready to take the leap from the owners getting ink-stained hands to focusing on making profitable, strategic plans. We'll show you how they've moved from just printing decals to being able to print on just about any item, and they will share the bumps, bruises, and big decisions they've experienced along the way. Moose's has even bigger goals now, and they've invited Stahls TV along for the ride. Join us for this exclusive online series, The Blueprint, coming soon to StahlsTV.com.
Okay, so that's the Stahls TV Blueprint. It's a concept that we've been thinking about for quite a few years. One of the reasons why we're doing it is we love traveling to visit shops and to really get hands-on. And by being inside of those business, not only does it give us perspective to help that business on that visit, but it also gives us some unique perspective on how we can guide future content for Stahls TV to help apparel decorators grow their business.
Yeah, and it's really those visits that kind of dictate our direction. We had a lot of expectations going into this particular event. We'll probably begin to talk more about it kind of episode after episode as we lead in to that new series. We don't have a launch date just yet, but it will be before the end of this year, right?
Yeah.
That's what we're hoping for. But we went in with some expectations as to what we were going to find, because most of the shops that we walk into, they'll have a heat press, they'll have a vinyl cutter. You saw in the trailer, these guys had embroidery, screen printing, some print and cut equipment as well. So they're doing a lot of things, and normally when we walk into a shop that's doing a lot of things, they're usually not doing a lot of things very well, just because you're small business owners and there's a lot of other things to worry about. So we thought we would be telling them how to set their blade on their vinyl cutter, or when to change the cutting strip, or how to heat press this particular item or that item, and we got a big surprise when we got there.
Yeah, I think there's always the risk with having a lot of equipment is too much too soon, especially for a startup decorator, but they had a good core team that were very savvy in production in different disciplines. So they sort of had production down. I mean, we offered some tips that we'll share in the series that you'll be able to see, but they had that down. And so when we went to lunch on that first day and had the pecan pie, correct?
Well, if you were there, it was pecan
pie. So we had the conversation about that, but basically we were like, okay, what's going to happen here? We were hoping to find some things out and share some tips, but I think after lunch on that first day, where we started to dive in a little bit more in depth to the business, the sales, the marketing, how things were trending, ask the right questions about their challenges, we got into some real good content, real good meat that we're going to be able to share with you. And just as a taste, as we look forward to that publishing later this year, they serve a local market. It was a very small community. I mean, it had a university on a small, I think, D3 school, but it was a sort of a local market. And one of the challenges that Eric, the sales manager, had shared with us is it was tough to get people to move beyond basic, to move into the special effect looks that we show here a lot on Stahls TV, to make the price jump to really pay for something fashion forward.
Yeah, they found when we watched jobs go through production while we were there for about a day and a half, most of the stuff that they were doing ended up being one color designs because their customers weren't really willing to pay for anything else other than one color white. That's what they found themselves selling a lot of. So they didn't want to jump into the glitters, into the foils, into the special effect finishes, but one way that their art department was able to upsell was to do more full color stuff, not only on their print and cut machine for apparel and decals, but they started to do some 2 and 3 color screen printing as well.
Yeah. So we want to sort of tie into that concept just to give you a little basic tip on if you're serving a local market that is a little bit hesitant to jump into something fashion forward, or maybe it's just a clientele that's not interested in something that fashion forward. They like basic. A good way to craft that sort of good, better, best presentation that we always preach here at Stahls TV is just by upgrading color count and really starting with your basic being the single color economy option and then moving up to a 2 color or perhaps a variation of a 2 color on the design, just something distressed or a little bit simpler to execute. And so we have some samples that we want to share to that end. That's a new sample pack that's something you can actually benefit from as well in your business. It's called the applique sample pack. Basically, this is for people that own embroidery equipment. That is the concept. So when you get this sample pack, basically pull out the contents here, and we have a lot of different designs. Slide this out of the way so I can lay them out here. This might be a good way that Moose's could display this for their embroidery department. here's a good design. This is basically your single color applique, and just the benefits of applique is that I can reduce the stitch count, I can sew this out, and it's a little quicker on the embroidery machines. Then I can show a better that's just a simple 2-color, so perhaps that adds a outline to the design and makes it a multicolor design. It's going to cost you a little bit more to produce from a cost of material standpoint, but machine time is very similar. It's a small uptick in machine time. This, just from a technical perspective, is something that's CAD-CUT. So if you're doing multicolor applique, CAD-CUT is great because it stays together. The foreground is attached to the background with a pressure-sensitive adhesive. Basically, it's a sticky backing, so it holds together, so it's really easy to position and sew out, so minimal operator time. And then as a best, here is a CAD-CUT, basically distressed applique. So this is sort of pushing you a little bit towards fashion forward, but not so much to where you're so far outside of the box that, you know, a typical local customer isn't willing to make that jump.
Yeah, one of the other ways that Moose has upsold folks in general was taking them from a screen print to embroidery, because it was that traditional market that views embroidery as the more expensive or the more high-end process.
Right.
So they were doing a lot of direct embroidery where their stitch counts were up 20, 30, 40,000 stitches per design. So they made the jump to applique recently as well and cut their stitch machine time in half, because the stitch counts were being cut in half.
Yeah, and that was, I mean, we mentioned earlier they had a really good grasp on production and throughput and efficiency, and they have 2 single head machines. You know, embroidery equipment's expensive, so they had to figure out how to maximize those machines, and applique was a way for them to produce more, get more throughput, and they already had the goal of keep the machines running, and that's why they ended up with the 2 units. So a lot more to share through that series, Stahls TV Blueprint. The reason we named it the Blueprint is basically we're looking for ways to help you architect your business for growth, whether that's starting a business, starting the building, or expanding upon that. We plan to have many more of these Blueprint shop visits, and who knows, maybe it could be your shop next if you're interested in that.
So we're focusing on ways to grow your business and also grow your brand, and we're in the middle of an 8-part series on ways to elevate your brand, and we're going to show you the next installment of that right now with Courtney K.
Welcome to part 4 of our 8-part series, How to Improve Your Brand. Today's topic, we're going to focus a lot on the packaging aspect and really the unboxing experience and how you can build into that to enhance your brand image. When you receive a package from somewhere, whether you bought something online or maybe purchased something from a store, we get excited when we receive that item. All of a sudden we turn into children, just like on Christmas or our birthday, and we can't wait to open up the item. You can really enhance this experience and build into the excitement or the mystery on how you package your products. Overall, as you build a packaging experience and you're able to enhance what you're offering to your customers this way, it'll not only build your brand image a little bit more, making you seem as if a much more higher quality decorator, but it also makes you more memorable. And when you're memorable, it's more likely to lead to additional sales or repeat purchases from a customer when they need to buy another item like they've purchased from you before. Now, with the t-shirt business, we have a lot of opportunity to capitalize on this experience. When a customer buys a t-shirt from us, they already know what's in the box. They ordered a custom t-shirt, maybe they've seen a proof or they customized it themselves online. So the item itself isn't really going to be the mystery. So what we want to do is we want to build into that mystery, build into that excitement, and make it an experience when they finally receive that package. It's been printed after maybe days or weeks of ordering, and they're excited to receive this. So how can we enhance our brand in that way? What we want to do first is we want to look at the outside packaging. So if you have a larger budget, of course, being able to look at pricing and maybe order custom packaging, so being able to print the outside of the box with your company information, maybe having a certain colorway on the outside of your box that really compels your brand and includes the same brand colors that you're using throughout all of the logos and everything we've learned in the first 3 parts of our series. All of that will help to enhance the experience. And even if you're on a smaller budget, look online. There's a lot of suppliers of custom boxes where you can buy smaller quantities and maybe not break the bank whenever you're starting to stock these boxes to ship your products. If you're not able to order custom boxes and maybe that's not in your budget, then just think about how you package your items. If you're a decorator that does a lot of group orders, and so there's a lot of t-shirts in one order that you're going to be printing, then think about how can I make this experience better for the person who's receiving these 100, 200 shirts for maybe a cheerleading squad or a t-ball team or something where you're going to be distributing all of these items for a spirit wear fundraiser, and how can I make it easier on them? Can I group these items together and individually wrap them into bags separately, so all that person has to do is select a bag and hand them out? That can make it a lot easier on the person who does the ordering and makes the decisions, simply because they don't have to go through the process of separating each of these items, and just creates a better experience for that person and really enhances what your company's able to do to save them time and to improve their experience with custom t-shirts or any custom items that you're printing. So first we want to think about the outside image. How are we packaging our items, whether it's large boxes or just individually wrapping items? Then we go into what I consider the unboxing experience. So you receive this package, and next we're going to open it up, and what do we see inside? If you've ever ordered a product online and you received it and it looked separate or different from anything you've ever ordered before, I've ordered products that obviously come in the standard t-shirt bag or the standard box, but I've also received those items that come into not only a custom box, but when I open it, there's some changes in the way it's wrapped, the way it's packaged, maybe some additional add-ins that are in the item. All of this really adds to the experience and makes me remember that supplier that I purchased that product from versus any of the others that just standard mailed. It almost gives an extra area that you care about them and that you're thankful for their purchase, and you put that little extra touch into it, and all of that continues to build into the experience. So when we look inside the box, the first thing we're going to look at is going to be the wrapping. So do you throw your shirts loosely into those t-shirt bags or those boxes, or are they packaged and wrapped together nicely with maybe a tissue paper, a craft paper, or if you're even able to build it into your budget, a custom printed paper. And the custom printed paper can be purchased from suppliers online, maybe who you're purchasing those same custom printed boxes from. Or if you want to go a more inexpensive route, you could simply buy some tissue paper, get a custom stamp, and stamp the tissue paper maybe in certain areas or maybe just one location, so your brand is still maybe on the top part of that tissue paper and you're still getting some custom elements that makes that wrapping unique. Also, how the item's packaged. So if you've ever gotten a t-shirt that's packaged maybe in a nice tissue paper that's, again, following that same colorways with your branding that we had learned with the first 3 steps of building your brand or improving your brand, and then it's wrapped with maybe a ribbon or a twine, that really builds into the experience that this is a gift. This is something that's exciting to open. I'm unwrapping it, and I can't wait to see my custom product that's inside this package. So the way you wrap it will definitely enhance the experience. Now, the way you wrap it could also cause a negative experience to the package. So keep in mind, if you're including tissue paper and wrapping it up in a way, you want to make sure it's still easy to open and to unbox. If you're using a lot of tape or a lot of different packaging supplies where it gets frustrating to get into the package, we've all had that experience, so we know that's not something that we want to put our brand in front of with a negative experience like that. So just keep that in mind as you're building the packaging. Keep it simple and keep it together with the wrapping and the way you wrap those products. Next, once we do that, and keep in mind most of those items are inexpensive and can be purchased in bulk online, so we're not getting a large cost and adding this into our experience. But I like to look again at the add-ins after we discuss the wrapping. So what are we adding into our package to enhance the experience? And there's a few different things we can add. Some I consider imperative and something you should definitely add into the package every time. One of those is a business card or a postcard or something with your company's information. What you want when they have this memorable and great experience with the product that they're ordering and the way that they've opened up your package is you want them to remember who made these items. Where can I continue to reorder this? Oh, this was a great item. I want to save this business card. I want to save this sticker. I want to keep this information so I can go back to the website. I can call them again and I can reorder. So you always want to make sure to include something like that in with a package, whether it's a business card, whether it's a postcard, a flyer, something where they can save it for later, easily store it, and order from your products again. All of this should have your contact information on there. If you have social links, that's another great way to use that postcard or that business card to encourage them to either share pictures on their social sites of them wearing the shirt, or just connect with you and your brand on that social site as well. Next, take a look at the garment itself. So if you're able to put a business card in there, great. You could also go another step and attach something to the item or the garment itself using like a hang tag. Now, hang tags traditionally are attached to the garment. We've seen them in a lot of retail stores. This gives you the opportunity to, of course, include your company information, your social links, website, phone number, where they can reach you and order this product again. But it also gives you another side where you can kind of tell your brand story and maybe just enhance maybe the mission that you've created in step number 3, or overall build that consistency into the brand by adding that little bit of extra company image or company story to the hang tag on the garment. And so that's something else to consider when you're packaging and building into the experience that you're creating. With additional add-ins, lastly, I always like to talk a little bit about free gifts. Now, that may vary depending on the customer. Of course, you're not going to want to give an expensive free gift to every t-shirt order that you're selling in your shop. But maybe you could throw in with every t-shirt order an inexpensive sticker that has your company information, something they could stick on a laptop around their home, where they could take that sticker and remember where they purchased that product. If it's a higher end customer that maybe orders a large amount of product, has repeat orders, you may want to include a free gift to build into that experience that's a little bit more expensive. Maybe it's a koozie, maybe it's a special t-shirt, maybe it's a special bag to package together all of the items. Anything like that really helps to enhance the experience, and like I said, just makes them think you took the extra second to care about their item after you printed it and shipped it out to them. So overall, all of these things will continue to enhance your brand, will make you a decorator that's going to stand out from the competition, and one that's memorable that people will want to continue to reorder and come back to your brand time and time again. So this is part 4 of the 8-part series, packaging and improving your customer's experience with the way you package items. Stay tuned for next week as we cover tip number 5.
Well, thanks to Courtney, that was quite the package on packaging.
Yeah, I agree. My favorite part of the whole thing, though, was that video graphic where that little girl is opening the present on the birthday.
Yes.
So that's something. We have some pretty exciting news to that end regarding birthdays.
Yeah.
We'd like to congratulate Courtney. Courtney, do you want to come and step on here?
Come on.
She doesn't want to do
she's
this.
She's not mic'd up.
This has been a few times coming.
Unscripted.
There's lots of faces happening at me here in the background.
Yep, come on in,
Courtney.
Come on in.
So we'd like to join with the Stahls TV viewers in congratulating you. And you're hoping for a boy, is that right?
I am hoping for a baby boy, yeah.
And the birthday is?
February 27th.
February 27th, so congratulations,
Thank you.
Courtney.
Thanks.
All right. So our goal was she was wearing a red dress. We wanted to see if we could make her turn as red as the dress and you be the judge.
Exactly. I think we did pretty well.
We can launch that poll now.
Yeah.
So next week on the monogramming episode, you should expect plenty of baby-related items
Absolutely.
with perhaps initials that may be the baby's name. I don't know.
It'll be a surprise.
Yeah, so the good news is, though, next week Courtney's going to be hosting again with Jenna. In all seriousness, it is a monogramming episode, and our goal is to be streaming again on Facebook Live. So you can watch it if you've joined us today. If you'd like to register for, if you like this type of content, register for stahlstv.com, and then you can basically get updates to your inbox from our Stahls TV blog, from the Stahls TV forum, and the videos we publish every week.
I think that's it.
That wraps it up. Thanks for watching the Stahls TV Morning Show.